Hey everybody, and welcome back to my weekly reading vlog. It is now Tuesday at almost 3:15 in the afternoon, and I have some book updates for you. But before we get to that, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my upload schedule. Normally I upload Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and in the last couple of weeks, I've missed two different uploads, mostly because I'm sick, honestly, and it's the kind of thing where I'm kind of down and out for like a full week. That's how long it was last time. I'm sick right now, and I'm on day like 4 or 5. It's just I don't have the mental bandwidth to be like filming very much, and I don't pre-film because, well, that's a whole other monster of why I don't pre-film much. But so I don't really have anything. Um, and so I've made the conscious choice in both of these instances. I made the conscious choice to not upload. So like last night, I actually was going to do finish up my script and then film, and I took NyQuil at like 6:30, which I know, like, but I never get drowsy from NyQuil because if you read the back label, it says warnings and it'll say may cause excitability, especially in children. And that's me. I get completely pumped up from NyQuil. Except last night. As soon as the NyQuil kicked in, I was struggling hard. And so I made the conscious choice like, I'm just not going to worry about this. I'm just not going to upload anything. And so that's why there wasn't a video on the day that I'm filming this, which is Tuesday. I didn't have a video. And that's okay. I'm really okay with that. So, really, what I just wanted to let you know is that I'm still going to be aiming for Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday as my normal upload days, but there may be times where I do miss a video, especially when I am not feeling well, because I do expect that my child will continue to bring colds home with him, and I will be sick on the regular for like the next year. And so I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm going to try to stick to the schedule as much as possible, but my health comes first. So I'm not going to stress too much if I miss a day here and there. But I did just kind of want to let you know that it's intentional, and there you go. That's the reasoning behind it. So on to the book updates. First up, we have Into the Bright Unknown by Ray Carson, which is the third book in the Gold Seer trilogy. This is a young adult Old West fantasy kind of trilogy, and our main character is Lilia, and she has the ability to sense gold. And in the first book, she kind of traveled from Georgia to California during like the gold rush. And in the second book, she's really kind of dealing with a family member who really wants to utilize Leah's gift for his own gain. And in this third book, she is kind of running up against this millionaire who made his money by oppressing the people and is just is going to end up leaving everybody in a really bad place, and then he's going to run off with his money kind of thing. And so she's decided to stop him. And so I finished this and it was really good. So I know that I was a little bit hesitant last week because I was just like, this doesn't feel like this as a coherent trilogy. And I still kind of stand by that because a lot of times the trilogy has like one overarching plot line, and this doesn't really. It feels much more like I'm used to urban fantasy series like this where you have like the first book, and then something in the first book that happens kind of spawns what the next one is going to be about, and then something that happens in the second one spawns what the third one is going to be about. But there's no overarching storyline, but it's got continuity, and it's about the same people, and it's great. And that's kind of what we've got going on with this trilogy. And I do find it interesting because each book in this trilogy kind of has a different feel to it. So the first book was definitely like Oregon Trail. Like, it was like, I like Julie, that was the best description. So Julie from her channel name I think is Julie H, but it's also Keep Calm with Coffees and Book. I'll leave it linked down below. She described it as just like like playing the game Oregon Trail, and I think that that is very accurate for the first book. And I don't really know how to categorize the second book, But this third book is definitely a heist, more like a heist story than anything else. And I think it was done really, really well. And I did actually appreciate it at the end. I love the characters for the most part. I don't think that all of them are the most well developed, but the ones that are done well are done really, really well, which is kind of a thing with Ray Carson I've found. And I just generally think that even though I don't love the Old West, I think the setting was done really well in this. I just think it was a good book. Like, once I kind of got over myself with this whole, like, there's no overarching plot to the trilogy, I really, really enjoyed it to the point that I gave this 4.5 stars. So then I decided to go ahead and pick up The Brides of Royal Rock Island by Margot Lanigan. And so this is a young adult, I think, fantasy, and essentially it's there we're following this village, and in this village some of the female people are selkies. So like they have, they have their part seal. I don't know the lore of it in this one. So, but the general lore is that selkies are like sometimes human, sometimes seal, and when they're in human form, they still have their seal skin, and if you take their seal skin, then they can't transform back into a seal. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. This is more like folklore type of a story. I don't know because I actually ended up DNFing this around page 30, I believe. And it was the writing style. The writing style just killed me. Partially because of how the sentences were structured were that absolute chaotic nightmare for me, in that I got lost halfway in between, but also just like as I was trying to read these descriptions, felt they didn't work for me. So like how the author was trying to describe the settings and all of this, it did not work for me. And the fact that we got dropped into the story and met like a bajillion characters did not work for me. So none of it really kind of was enough that I could get past any other part of it. So I went ahead and just DNF'd it. Now, that is unfortunate because, oh, my feet just fell asleep. Sorry. So that's a little bit unfortunate because I do know for the magical readathon, which is this is fulfilling one of the prompts. You're supposed to not DNF it for it to count. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that it promotes continuing to try to make your way through really crappy books. And I didn't choose this one with the intention of DNFing it. And so for right now, I'm still going to count it for both Bookopoly and the Magical Readathon because like I tried and it just was really bad. So I'm not going to worry too much. The prompt that this fulfills for Bookopoly was the TBR vet, and then the one, I don't remember what it's called for the Magical Readathon, but it was like read a standalone. And so if I get to the end of the month and I have enough time, I will just read a standalone, another standalone, so that it properly counts within like the readathon rules. This one, by the way, my legs are really asleep. This one counted as opulent for Bookopoly, and to read like a book with like about rich people or like gilding on the cover, I think is what it's called, which obviously this has. It's super shiny. And it also counted as wilding for Magical Readathon, which is to read a book mostly set outside, which this one was. So now I'm going to pick up The Silver Serpents by Roshani Chokshi, and this is the second book in a young adult fantasy trilogy, historical fantasy actually. And we're set in Paris in the 1890s, I believe. And there's a group of people who are thieves, essentially. But more than thieves, they're actually trying to it's more Indiana Jones kind of thievery. It's like track down these artifacts and then steal them. And so I really liked the first one, and so I'm really excited for this second one where I think they're going to be traveling more through Russia to try to track down this very specific kind of artifact. I'm not sure. I'm very excited though. And this one is going to fulfill just Bookopoly, a Bookopoly prompt, which is person of color representation, like people of color representation, which this book definitely has, because I believe one of our characters, Layla, is Indian and another one is like part Filipino, part Spanish. So that's it. I would really like to finish this one in the next couple of days so that I can pick up my next book sooner. But that is all I have for this update. So until next time, bye. Hey everybody, it is now Saturday night at about 10:15, and I figured I should probably wrap up this reading vlog. Y'all, I failed. I am now on page 30, so I have read a total of 8 pages in this, and it's not like I was reading anything else. I really wasn't. And it's okay. So I'm only 30 pages in. I don't have anything more or new to say about it. I really like these characters. I haven't even like met the whole gang. They haven't all come back together yet. They kind of dispersed at the end of book 1, and in this book they're like at the beginning they have to come back together, and they haven't even done that yet, 30 pages in. So I don't really have any thoughts about it. It was just, it's not even a slump. It's more just like I kept choosing to do other things. So, for example, I make Christmas ornaments every year, and I realized how far behind I am on those, and so I've been working to try to catch up on that. Or like I was sick for a week, and so there's a lot of stuff that didn't get done, some of which actually really needed to be done, so I had to catch up on that. Anyway, a whole lot of excuses, but basically it just means that I didn't really read. And sometimes that happens. I'm trying to be really okay with it. In some ways, I don't mind, because I do think that I utilized my time well. Like, I made good choices. But I also really want to read this. So, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm okay with the choices I made, but I really want to read this. So I kind of want to find a time where I am able to just kind of sit down and hopefully get through a good chunk of it and just enjoy myself. And that's what I'm going to aim for next week. But that is all I have for this update. So if you let me know down below what you guys have been reading, or if you have any thoughts about what I have been reading. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!